Were the skies and the earth created in 6 days or billions of years? Inna rabbukum Allahu alladhi khalaqa as-samawati wal ard fi sittati ayyam. From the Quran, verily your sustainer is God who created the skies and the earth in 6 days. But scientists estimate the age of the earth to be 4.5 billion years old and the universe to be 13.77 billion. To us, a day is defined by the earth spinning on its axis once and marked by the position of the sun. Before the earth and solar system formed, there was no way to measure a day. So the 6 days mentioned in the Quran can't be 24-hour periods. In the Quran, the length of a day is different in different circumstances. For example, regarding fasting in Ramadan, a day is just a day. But in two surahs of the Quran, a day to God is like 1,000 years of human reckoning. And in another surah, it is like 50,000 years. Yet even 50,000 years is quite tiny when talking about the age of the earth. From science, we know how long ago the earth started forming. But when did God consider the creation finished? In other words, when did God's 6 days of creation end? There are several good candidate events, but I will use the beginning of our current geological era that started 66 million years ago, the start of the Cenozoic Era. At that time, a milestone event occurred after an asteroid known as the Chicxulub impactor struck Earth and led to the extinction of dinosaurs and 75% of the species of the planet. This era is also marked by the dominance of mammals, birds, flowering plants, and the formation of our current continents. So let's take the age of the Earth minus the start of the Cenozoic Era, and the average length of a day in God's 6 days of creation would be 746 million years. This begs the question, if a day to God is sometimes a day and sometimes 1,000 years and sometimes 50,000 years, could it also sometimes be 746 million years? There is a way we might be able to find out. It's called linear regression. If we treat the day lengths as a numerical series, we can forecast the next value. Since the numbers grow exponentially, we will have to plot their logarithms.
Years are first converted to Earth days before the log calculations.
Note, calculating a logarithm doesn't change the number. It only allows us to write very big numbers in a short way. First, let's calculate the logarithm for a 746 million year day of the Earth.
Then, do the same thing for the age of the universe, do our forecast from the Quran, and compare.
It is
11.4.
Let's do the same for the universe. Its log value is
11.9.
When we do our forecasting using linear regression, we hope that it will be close to these two numbers.
It would mean that a day to God could be in the hundreds of millions of years.
And the forecasted value is 11.536. SubhanAllah. That number is right between the values of 1/6 the age of the Earth and 1/6 the age of the universe. Curiously, a day as 1,000 years is mentioned in the Quran twice, while 50,000 years only once. God doesn't do anything without a reason. So is God giving us a clue to adjust the number somehow? Since 1,000 is mentioned twice as often as 50,000, maybe we should have that number. Alternatively, maybe the 50,000 should be doubled. Now let's see what happens if we make the adjustments we talked about. If we have the 1,000 and enter 500, the calculated value is 11.435. Double SubhanAllah. This number is equal to a day out of 6 in the age of the Earth to 5 digits. Now if instead we double the 50,000 and enter 100,000, the logarithm is 11.937. Triple SubhanAllah. That number equals the day in the age of the universe rounded to 3 digits. In other words, based on only two numbers for a day to God mentioned in the Quran, 1,000 years and 50,000 years, plus the frequency that they're mentioned, we successfully forecast the values for a day in the length of the age of the Earth and the universe. Just a caution. Scientific findings start with scientific investigation based on empirical evidence and then reflected upon with verses in the Quran. The Quran is not the starting point of science, but rather it is meant to give meaning to our scientific observations and increase our faith. The point of this post is that the 6 days of creation in the Quran should be interpreted as a variable amount of time large enough to span the age of the earth and the age of the universe. I've placed more of the math related to this video in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.